Sublime magnificence. Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, back with another episode of This Guy Hasn't Seen. And as usual, I am joined by my co-host and running mate, one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Bill Smith.
Hey Omari, thank you so much for having me back. As always, love being here, love doing this thing, this little movie club we got going on where we pass things back and forth. One guy has seen them, the other hasn't. Can be movies, TV shows, we've done animes, animations, we've done documentaries, we're going to do concert films, we're going to do music videos, we're going to do wrestling matches. Anything you have that we can watch with our eyeballs, we're going to use as content on this show. If you have any suggestions, throw them down in the comments below. This is one of those special weeks, Omari, where you get to suggest something to moi.
Yes, I did. And I was looking at some things. One of the things we cover a lot on here is the 80s, stuff like that. We cover a lot of like 80s movies here, generally, most of which brought to us by you, bringing them to me and educating with things. And one day I just kind of took a shot in the dark and was like, I'm pretty sure Bill's already seen this, but I'll ask anyway. And you told me you hadn't. You had seen the sequel, but not necessarily this movie. So I decided I'll go with it. It is 1981, I believe's Escape from New York.
Escape from New York from 1981, rated R. In 1997, when the U.S. president crashes into Manhattan, now a giant maximum security prison, a convicted bank robber is sent to rescue him. It is written and directed by John Carpenter, and it stars Kurt Russell, Lee Van Cleef, and Ernest Borgnine, among several others. Um,
Isaac Hayes.
Omari, why bring this one to the table?
Well, I saw this movie a while back in college, actually. A friend of mine who was getting me into Metal Gear Solid pointed out the fact that the main character protagonist of the Metal Gear Solid series, Solid Snake, was based off of Snake Plissken quite heavily and unashamedly, to the point where in one of the Metal Gear Solid games, Snake, who to the audience is clearly obviously him. He's not even really putting on a disguise, but the person asks him his name and he just gives him the alias Pliskin. So it's not that hidden of a reference. Like, yes, I'm referencing Escape from New York Snake. Um but yeah, and I remember seeing it and talking about it. I remember just being like, "Oh, this is considered, one of those classic '80s films, Escape from New York." And so I was like, "Hey, if it's a classic '80s film and Bill hasn't seen it, why not? I haven't seen this since college. I want to give it a rewatch." So yeah, so you hadn't seen it, however, I know you've seen something similar.
Right. Well, it was one of those that I had definitely seen bits and pieces of at a point or two scrolling through TV. I had seen a scene or so. I knew Snake Plissken and all of that even before I had eventually sat down and watched Escape from LA because of reverse reasons for this film. It was not made until 1996, and it is kind of the opposite. It's a hate watch movie. It's kind of a
Oh,
sit around with your friends and laugh at kind of movie. That's the scenario in which I saw that the sequel to this film. Um, so other than that, this was just kind of always on a list somewhere on the back of my brain of like, oh yeah, I guess you gotta sit down at some point and actually watch Escape from New York. And it just never happened. Other than that, it was just like a thing that was in the room one day when I was asking my dad where my Lego sets were, and he had to, and you know, and and then and then eventually I had to wait for him to bring the box up from the basement, and I saw like giant walls around New York and things like that
Yeah.
kind of scenarios. Other than that, I had never seen this.
Okay. Well, cool. So that's it. I guess we'll just hop into it, to get some of your initial reactions when the movie starts. Um, I know personally, first thing, that 80s opening of
Yeah, I
just
mean, you gotta love a 80s alternate future opening um exposition to dystopia little thing that's always like, yeah, early computer tech looking font and like very serious like monotone news report kind of style of just description and exposition.
and then there's the long fucking just black screen with words as the music plays for the intro theme, just to play the whole like cast and no like background imagery and stuff. It's just a blank screen, words, and this just like repetitive ass song. And I'm like, ah, this is an 80s ass movie. Yes. Um, but yeah, we get into it, and I don't know. This movie started off kind of slow for me, but also fast. It was weird. It seemed like they were jumping from one thing to another, but at the same time, you'd blink and you're like, has anything happened for real? Oh, yes, things happened.
Yeah, I mean it is early 80s, so you still have the remnants of a 70s film here and kind of the guts of it. And those are like those things that you're feeling in those moments of, yeah, like we are moving quickly through the plot, but yet all the scenes themselves feel a little slow. And that's
Yeah,
also just because like a lot of static cameras, and we haven't fully embraced into that 80s mode yet.
yeah. I think that's it. But yeah, like the synopsis says, which is also one of the most 80s things ever, the president crashes into New York, which has become a prison town, and now he's gotta escape. The former criminal has to go back to save the day.
Yeah, a lot of like poor foreshadowing references too in this film, of things they could have possibly imagined, like even digitally depicting a plane going into a building in the skyline of New York feels a little weird.
Yeah.
If you live through 9/11.
Yeah, how
And then
prominent the World Trade Center
right.
is to the
Yeah.
plot.
Yeah, and then the World Trade Center being a prominent plot setting for the beginning and end of this film is yeah, it's always just it's a little weird. It just and it's probably never not going to be, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that one. But yeah, it was interesting just, getting into the stud. You meet Snake and he's about as 80s action movie character as it can be. Doesn't talk much. Got the eye patch. Doesn't want you to call him by his name, Pliskin. Call me Snake. Okay, well, no, we're gonna call you this. I thought it was funny when they had the plane, when the president gets hijacked, or the plane he's on gets hijacked, and you got that lady trying to give her speech of the rebellion or whatever, and she's like reading it off a piece of paper while trying to fly the plane, and like give this angry speech. I'm like, it's funny that she's trying to read this off the paper. You scum! After all your years of lies, your years of servitude, your people are not going to do anything else for you.
Like, bitch, like you couldn't have memorized this. It's not
Like, it's
that
just an
long. It's like,
impassive speech to say "fuck you." We're not gonna take it.
right.
Like, you don't need to write out your impassioned "fuck you" speech. But no, she did. It's like I want to word this exactly. I want you to know exactly how I feel.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would say early on, very quick, early immediate shout out to Lee Van Cleef as Hawk in this movie. He's just so good. He's just so real, and I don't know, natural. Like, of course, he made became famous with like all of his westerns and stuff from the 70s. Good, the Bad, the Ugly, uh, Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, Few Dollars More, Magnificent Seven, all of those, Lee Van Cleef. But this is an older version of him that I've never really seen. And yeah, man, he's still got it. He's still got it. I love his mode of acting, his genre of acting from those guys of this period. I love it. I love it.
yeah. There's a nostalgic feel to every time the camera like cuts to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
can
the
agree.
president and his little fucking pod. And also I was like, does he have an accent? Does the president of America have like a Norwegian accent or so, or like a
Kinda,
French
right?
accent?
Yeah, it's not exactly a dialect you would hear regularly here, to say
But
the
hey, it's the
least.
future. It's the deep distant future of 1997.
I love that. I love that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's 1997. Exactly. I thought it was funny when the guy walks up talking, like when the president gets kidnapped and they first send the people in, and the dude's like, "You have 30 seconds to get out of it, or he dies. If you do this, he dies. You do this, he dies. You do that. 20 seconds. All right, we're willing to talk. 19, 18, 17." Like, I don't think you understand. I said you had 30 seconds.
Yeah, I kind of weirdly loved that guy in that scene. He immediately falls off a cliff for me for all of his future scenes. But that scene, the way he chose to walk up to Hawk, and yeah, just the way he delivers those lines, and just his body language and
Yeah.
everything, I was into it. I was really digging him. And then the next time he came up, I was like, oh,
He just started making
it's just gonna
noises.
be that scene. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just that scene that he was cool in. Now he's just like a weird, rabid guy. Yeah. Porcupine haired guy.
Yeah. Yeah. They send Snake in. He's looking around the city, meets this one chick, and they make it seem like she's gonna end up being a big deal. Because she's like talking to him. Oh, I heard you were dead, which apparently everybody in this movie has heard of Snake Plissken and also thought he was dead. Just everybody is either Snake. Oh, hey, is he there? Oh, hey, Snake. I thought you were dead. Or Snake. Oh, yeah, I remember that name. Wait a minute. I thought he was dead. It's like one of the two for everybody in the fucking movie, but she's one of them. Like, I heard
Hmm.
you were dead.
I feel like that's one of the beauties of these old action films is in today's movie making, this would have been like movie number three. But back then, they just skipped all of that growing of the hero's journey and stuff. And on minute three of the very first movie, somebody looks at the main character and goes, "Oh my God, it's Joe Johnson. Get out of his way." And then we were all just like, "Oh my God, Joe Johnson, he's the man." because that guy said he was the man. And like that's all you needed. That's all you needed.
I think that's why the John Wick movies work so well because it's a little bit of that
Yeah.
where he's already established
Yeah,
and now
you just
people are
walk into
just
the movie of
terrified.
just like this is the baddest dude on the planet.
Yeah. And sure enough, that's apparently what the case was with Snake. And but no, this girl's talking with them, and she's like, "We can stay with us together." And all of a sudden, they get attacked from underground. Just and she's never heard from for the rest of the movie. They made such a big deal out of the scene.
Gone.
Just nope, doesn't
Which
matter.
that's going to be a reoccurring theme in this movie, honestly, is quick exits. Quick exits in this film.
Yeah. Other things that stand out. There's the cab driver, cabbie, who just won't
Ernest
shut the
Borgnine.
who just won't shut the fuck up. Oh, did you think? Oh, I'm gonna say he's one of the people that clearly does not like silence. He just likes to talk because he just someone needs to be talking at all times. But no, he was kind of fun. Um, we eventually also meet Harold, um, who or Brain,
Right.
who he's a little shit throughout the movie.
Brain and Maggie.
Brain and Maggie, because they know where the president is. He's with the Duke, played by Isaac Hayes, driving
Hmm.
around in his car with the two fucking lamps on the front.
With chandeliers hanging from the front of him.
I love it. It's so
That
silly.
was that was one of my odd memories of the film. Um, as soon as that car came around the corner, I was like, I've seen that before. And this guy's about ready to be Isaac Hayes. How do I know that part? But then so many other things, like the little porcupine boy, complete new memory for me. I didn't remember him at all. Like
Yeah,
I remembered Maggie, I remembered Brain, but like not just them as characters. Like, all right, Snake's gonna encounter this person along the journey. I don't remember how he's involved, kind of thing. Um, uh, but yeah, didn't recall that. But and then weirdly was like I had weirdly specific visions of Isaac Hayes as the Duke. That was one of my strongest core memories, other than Snake Plissken, obviously.
yeah, yeah. So we meet him, and of course Isaac Hayes. This is a cool character because he's Isaac Hayes. He knows how to play those characters. Um, there's a lot of action in the movie, like cool scenes, like the attack in the train yard, where he's like fighting all the people and everything, where the Duke, shows up and does his own whole Snake Plissken. I heard you was dead. It's always I heard you were dead. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's another one of those moments where Brain he's gonna side with whoever whoever has a gun nearest him in that moment is who he's gonna pick the side of, it seems
yeah.
like.
He was like, I had no choice. Duke, he had a gun to my head. Now I'm gonna betray y'all and run away with the president. While Bliss gets made to fight in like a gladiatorial-esque wrestling boxing match with Kanobos or whatever. Just we're gonna fight here. Which was cool. So I love the Duke's speech at the start of that where he's like, they sent their best men, and tomorrow we will march into their town, and their best man will lead us from the neck up.
Hold on, quiet down. Shh, shh. On the roof of my car.
Oh, no. No, that was great. Also the fight where he beats dude. Romero, our guy that we talked about early on with the one scene that kind of fell off afterwards, really has a stupid moment when he lets Brain into the room where the president is. Off of like the stupidest thing where it's like cyanide. And then he sits there and then he even has the realization cyanide. Now that's bullshit. Get the hell out of here. You shouldn't be in here. Get stabbed and goes down so easily. I expected that man to have like some kind of mini boss fight or something for somebody. Because he had his whole little moment earlier and he was the crazy dude. So
Yeah.
it's like, when he just dies.
Yeah, I was thinking that that was going to be like the president's kill or something like that
Yeah.
in while Snake is killing the Duke. Um
Hmm.
but no, they gave they gave the big kill to the president.
Yeah, because we do eventually have the whole escape and the chase with the Duke chasing him down on that fucking bridge with the cars and the explosions, and the mines, which I thought was funny because he's like, you should. They have a map of the mines on the bridge to get out of the place. By the way, there's a time limit the whole time. Snake's got to do it, or he has things in his neck that will explode and he'll die. Okay. But yeah, they're going on this bridge and trying to escape with the president while the Duke chases them down. And Brain's got this thing mapped out, and he's like, jog right. They don't jog right. Car explodes. They get out of it. And now he's like, okay, follow my map now. You guys aren't following my map. And then he steps on a mine while following his map. So I guess his map really didn't fucking matter, or did it? Who knows? Not sure how that particularly happens, but he got mixed up. He dies, and then Maggie's like, fuck it. I'm gonna stand here with a gun and try to shoot the Duke instead of running with the rest of you. I'm just gonna stand here and shoot and miss. And she shot from so far away. She could
One
have
of
waited.
one of the things I hate most in movies is the person who sticks around to make the sacrifice play and then is in no way effective at all. Like I don't understand what that moment is supposed to achieve for me as a viewer then. Um
They
I
chose
feel
to
like it just
die.
happens way too much. Like kill one person, like in this, like shoot him in the shoulder or
Yeah.
something.
Weaken
Um,
them. Blast a
yeah,
tire. And then, oops, it crashed into you anyway and you died.
right. Yes, you just wrote a better scene for this movie than what just happened. Um, that's my only that's one of my few gripes that is a consistent gripe through so much media. I feel like that happens
Oh,
way
yeah.
too much. They're like, no, I'll stay back and give you some time, and then stays back and provides
No time.
no
Just,
support, no
just,
support whatsoever. It's as if they weren't even there. Like that's those are, that's just a gripe of mine.
yeah, I can
Uh,
see that.
but so yeah, then the snake ends up winning the battle, but then the president fucking comes out of nowhere and just fills up Isaac Hayes with a machine gun.
Just, blah, 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 blah. You're the Duke. Oh, yeah. Because he's getting revenge from earlier when the Duke was shooting at him and making him yell, you're the Duke. You're A1, A number one.
Yep.
And then he's like, you're the Duke. You're A number one.
Yeah. And then of course Snake is gonna come in at the end, be like, "Hey, do you even care about all of those people?"
No.
And so for this, he sacrifices the entire human race to potentially have nuclear fusion
I think something
and
along
clean
those
energy.
lines.
Like, is that what he just did there? Or did he just sacrifice America potentially using it as a bargaining chip for peace? Either way is not necessarily a good move. Kind of a bad guy move there at the end of the movie
Where
on
he took
on Snake's
the
part.
tape away. Yeah, that was just kind of a dick move. I'm like, I don't get it. The tape seemed like it was something for peace that actually would have been for peace, and then it's just like random music from old times.
Also, he's just walking right over there. Let's arrest him again because he
Yeah,
didn't follow the agreement.
yeah, he's clearly destroying the actual
He's
tape.
going back to the island because, yeah, we can see that he's ripping up a tape right over there. It's like 30 yards away. Yeah, so the ending's a little frustrating on that end of things, but it's a what do you it's a 1981 popcorn movie depicting a dystopian future in 1997. Um, and I'm watching it in 2024. So
Ah,
what
dystopian movie at a
what
time
what
like this. How appropriate.
what could I what more could I ask for?
Yes, so there you have it. I think I've touched on a lot of the moments from the movie. Like I liked Isaac Hayes' role as the Duke. I thought it was cool. I like Kurt Russell. I think he was a little, well, I'd say he was cookie cutter, but that's only because so many people have based their shit off of him.
Yeah, I think he is the cookie. Like I
Yeah,
think he is the OG
yeah,
in many aspects of that archetype.
yeah. So there is
You can make
that.
the argument that he's probably pulling from a lot of Western protagonists. Um, this is kind of a Western in Futurescape film at this time, which is probably why they thought to get Lee Van Cleef in it.
I think
Um,
that's a great like way to put it. Yeah. Western in the like 80s dystopian
yeah,
landscape.
you got to go into this wagon town that's run by a bad gang to get out the one person, kind of thing. It feels
Yeah.
like it could very easily have been a Western.
Yeah. No, I like that
Alrighty,
analogy.
brother.
But there we have
Um,
it. Escape from New York. It gave
next
us Metal
week,
Gear Solid.
next week, I am going to kind of ride on this vibe a little bit. I thought about doing a few different things. I thought about giving you Escape from LA so we could just have like the sequel discussion of it all. Um, but I'm gonna switch gears and go into a little movie starring Rowdy Roddy Piper, called They Live from 1988.
Right. They
I mean, it's going to
live.
be a really exciting episode here that
Oh.
probably three people will watch, but you'll enjoy yourselves because it's a fun movie that you know about and not many others do.
I agree. I'm looking forward to that. All right. If you want to hear some of our other stuff, you can catch us, every Tuesday. We got this show. Occasional Mondays, we have Mocked and Draft. Coming up, we got a fantasy wrestling thing we got going on there, as well as random other stuff that we draft every once in a while. Wednesdays, we got the Whatever We Want podcast. Good friend of mine, good friend of the show, Super Jazz. We talk
Super Jazz.
Thank you very much. It's Nature Attention about it. We talk about just that, whatever we want. And on Saturdays, Bill and I got a show called You Don't Watch Sports that streams live, by the way. It's the two of us talking about three topics, help you sprinkle a little information into your sports conversation and be your guiding light through the seed that is casual sports talk. I also have a Twitter and Twitch, Geotabi, Giotabi. Come on in, stop on by. Per day 240. You know what that means. And yeah, Bill, you got anything else you want to say to folks?
I just want to say, I don't know if this will come through or not. My wife and I dressed as the Heart Foundation. Um,
That's awesome.
and it was pretty awesome.
That is.
So. Yeah.
That it's a smile on my face. And a smile on the faces of everybody at home. And we thank you all for smiling with us. And we hope you smile next time we see you. Till then, adiosness.